Dear brothers and sisters, now we all are sitting here and you know this death is our reliable companion. Ages upon ages, that does not leave us. And due to this inescapable fact, we are not ready to accept us. We are not ready to accept it during our lifetime. Most of the people say, okay, let what happens, it will come. Since we came in this world, everyone has to meet this end. Body we got from the world, from the dust, it goes back to the dust. But the life in it is eternal. It has unbreakable and constant link with the God power. Master says, oh God, my contact with you, as I could see, it is unbreakable and it is ever fresh. Ever fresh means once you come in contact with it, you at once start to recognize the purpose of human life. This contact gives you consciousness within. And the soul, when it gets free from the outgoing faculty of the mind, it starts to develop within. Due to the shackles and the vestures, it is under the impression that it cannot come out. But masters always help it. Master says that the sound, the music of this sphere that resounds at thy thresholds, that resounds at my forehead, and it gives constant vibration. This sound coming from the source vibration, it comes in me, it touches in me and goes back to the source vibration. So this source vibration or the sound current in man that reminds us back to home eternal, that we are not the inhabitant of this world. We have to leave it. No exception to the rule. So we are not the body, we are the indweller of the body. This is a house built by the God himself. He made the human body and lived in it. There is no higher place, there is no higher religion, there is no higher temple, church, mosque or gurdwara than this holy body. So it is called, it is a wonderful house we live in. It is a true temple of God. But how to realize that really we are the temple of God? This secret was ever revealed by those who rose above the plane of senses and the shackles of the mind. They came in contact with the living God in man. This contact being possible, so all masters say that ye are the living temples of God. There is no other living temple of God in the earth. So it reminds us why we came, how we came, and what is the purpose of human life now. All competent masters exult over it, and we have to do. Our life in this body is like a bird perches on a tree, so does the life in the body. It is for some moment. It is not for all the time. So it is beyond the knowledge, beyond the intellect of the man, as when he has to leave, when he has to vacate this house, wonderful house. No one knows about it. But this is a this is a fact that one day we have to vacate it. A time comes when kings have to vacate the palaces and poor have to vacate the huts. Just like bee enters into the garden, moves from one flower to another flower, so does the man in the body through the senses. And both go in despair. Oh, no one gets the essence of life. Napoleon Bonaparte this whole Europe used to be threatened by his name. When his last time came, he told that the same person on whose name the whole Europe used to threat cannot open his eyes. Even if he want to open his eye, cannot at his last end. So did happen with Alexander the Great. I mean to say, there is no higher work, higher values of life than to know ourselves and know God within. All masters had in one and the same opinion that it is thy turn to meet God. Everything else in the world is a side issue. Master says do it, but you must keep remembering the purpose of human life. To remain attached with those things is not the purpose of human life. To use those things is no problem, but to keep in touch and to keep this reaction of those things is a sin. Whatever our forefathers did, we are bearing the reaction of those things. Whatever we will do, our children will bear the reaction of those things. So Master learnt us how to live in the world. They learn us to remain unattached in the world of attachment. This teaching is written with one opinion by all competent master of the world, because the inner journey is one and the same. Going back is the same way. We have come from the same source, and definitely we have to go back to the same source. It is the real path. But there is the other path. If we are misled, we have come from the same source, but our ways became different. Having the negative aspect of life and never try to change it, we will go where? We will not go to that path where all masters went with one opinion. They showed the light within, they showed the way within. They made us to see, they made us to hear. And we are realized that we are not the body, we are the true temple of God. And there should be a continuous remembrance of the Master, continuous remembrance of the God within. We say, who is the God? We have direct and independent contact with God. This is the God power. This is the radiant form of the Master which lives in the body, and the same power when it leaves, then we are no more the body. Then it is merely a dust. Then even that moment, it is a little time left for us. We can be helped, but we cannot help ourselves. This is one reason. So if you have a spark of truth, if even you have a spark of realization, that can help you when you leave the body. But if you have not got it, if you are misled, you worried not to turn your life, you worried not to know yourself, then nobody can blame other. Nobody can blame the God. Then one has to curse himself. No exception to the rule. Everyone has to go the same way. Those who are learned now, they cannot be illiterate. And those who are illiterate now, after that they cannot be learned. So there are very hard and fast rules in the world. Those are governed by the God power and are obeyed by the negative and positive power both. This world is a play field of the negative and positive power. Both have their destination fully fixed and they are doing their utmost. It is very high time. This human body is a right time to know what is what we are, who we are. It is right, we are the very life in this body. But it is said, it must be witnessed unless until we do not come in touch with this, we cannot say we have realized. There is only the master power which helps us on the very first day and raises us above the body consciousness. And we trust the word of the master as 2 and 2 make 4. Then there is no doubt. So far, you do not come in contact with this life within. You are direct under the illusion. Whatever your experience on the level of senses, and you take it wholeheartedly and you start to depend upon those things and you think there is a life in it, there is anjay in it, you are under the illusion. There are so many things to learn, but the other subject will only arise when you start from the home. When you learn one lesson, then automatically the second lesson starts and the other and so on. But one must arise above. One must awake and see what really the purpose of human life. All those holy scriptures contain the experience of those competent masters. Whatever they saw, it is there with us in fine record. And that is from the human body. That is from within. That is within from you. It is the same experience which master got it from their body, and same is there with you. But whatever is in the man body, that even does not exist in all the holy scripture of the world. So it was called a wonderful house we live in. A wonderful house means that you can perform a wonderful job in it. The most wonderful job is to get the essence of life within. There is everlasting joy. There is a source of vibration. There is that holy light where you can stand without this earth. There is no time, there is no space. Those who go there, they get the eternal life. Why they come into the world and for what purpose? Those who get that sense of life in the body, They are withdrawn into the heaven, and from there they need not to come into the man body. They can be sent. If they are sent, then they are sent for other purpose, not to live like as we are living now. We are identified with the world so much so that we have forgotten ourselves. We are ignorant. Master tells us, O soul, you are the indweller of the heavens. You never knew about yourself. You have the source vibrations. There is a vibration, there is intoxication in you that is limitless, never ends. And at the last, Master says, O soul, you should be ashamed of. For the act, for the work you didn't realize. A man who does the work whole life for others, but he does not work for himself, what will you call him? Yes, okay, very simple way. You'd say it is child, doesn't know anything. Either one is very foolish or he is a child-like. He is ignorant about the truth. So far we are identified with the outgoing faculty of the mind. We are not conscious. Whatever we think we are conscious, that is on the level of senses. Intellectually we can be very conscious. Mentally we can be very conscious. But consciousness we will start what conscious real is. There is a divine knowledge and there is knowledge. Unless until you rise above the plane of senses, where the world philosophy and there the religion start. World philosophy ends where at the sight we leave the body. At the time of death we withdraw from here. And then we lose this body. When the soul withdraws from the lower extremities and come back at the seat of the soul, and from there it takes upward and then inward trend, you have seen dying person. This what happens to everybody. It will happen with us one day will come. Have we learnt it? Christ had learned to die so that you may begin to live. You can learn to die because you already live there. You are the indweller of this place. You come down to serve this body. You come down to finish your give and take process in the world. You come down into the body to fulfill your wishes that you created in your previous life. You have come into the world to wind up your karmas. You have come into the world not for that purpose, but you have forgotten. Oh man, you have come with a promise, with the God power, that you will fulfill the wish of the Father. The wish of the Father to have the child back to his fold. How the father can be happy when the child is away from the home? So our Father, who has not left us altogether, Since we came in this world, He is watching our activity and waits our arrival back over here. Death can snatch the child from the father. But Father says, you come when you are in the body, so that you are not tied by any effect outside. He will make you to learn how to rise daily, how to take the cross daily in this life. Teaching is very wonderful because of this experience. This experience, a heritage commissioned and blessed by the God Himself. But as it is a very attractive way of life for the so-called people in the world, so a lot of people pretend to be like masters. This way of life is very simple, easy to understand, easy to follow, and also easy to get it. It is a truth. It has a very direct link. There is no need of twisting it. But it is twisted and has become very difficult. People wonder as whether it is true or not. Can we get it or not? I tell you, it is not difficult. The competency of the master lies whether he is able to give you something on the very first day. Then helps you to understand more and more. Helps you to transcend. Helps you to detach you from those facts, very hard facts, without which you cannot live. He makes you to learn, He makes you to live in this world. The art of life, the very art of life, the life of the saints, the life of the Christ, life of Guru Nanak, life of Sant Kirpal Singh. Had a practical life, very easy life. They lived for all human beings. They love all children. They have no problem with nation, religion, or countries. They come from the beyond, and they are limitless. The attention of the master goes beyond all barriers. There is nothing in the world that can prevent it. Rather, it prevents everything from its way. Once this power takes the control of the disciple, it clears the way all through the stages and takes the disciple, takes the soul from one step higher to other step and takes the soul back to home eternal with his power. I tell you, The competency of the master lies also in this holy body. It is a fault. It is a very strong fault of the God power. When you know that your Father is stronger than all forces of the world, then you will believe the competency of the Master. There is no higher power than the power which is in this body. Our soul is the same sense as that of God. But this soul being identified into the man body, it has got weak. It has become very weak. But when it takes a little contact with the source, then immediately it gets very strong. You read in the Holy Scripture that by coming in contact with this force, the angle of being is at once changed. You come to the new life. You experience a very new life within. Some people cry. Some people weep over their misfortune, over their misdeeds they did during the lifetime. Because they said it was not life. It was misfortune they did. So by coming in contact with that power, our angle of being is changed. So you can get that very thing which is not possible even if you live in this world for all the times and you seek it, it is not possible. But you can have that thing in a moment time. I only tell you about the grace of the God power. That power is innate in the soul, since it has created the whole creation. It is not only the indweller of the heaven. It is that very heaven which He has made it above this body consciousness. Sky lies in the man body. Here is the man body. You rise above the body consciousness. You transcend through the third eye. Master helps you to transcend. There you get the water of life and bread of life. And this you can only get when you withdraw into the heaven. Heaven comes when you withdraw from the body. But how to move in the heaven, how to look beyond the heaven, is in the control of the Master. Otherwise the soul is driven like an animal. It is said in the history, it is said by the competent Master, that the journey which the soul has to experience, that is for 1 year. The soul has to remain with angel of death, this negative powers, for 1 year time. And it seeks the help back in the world that if there is anybody who can help him, soul link is disconnected only after 1 year. The soul connection in the world remains in this world for a pretty long time. 1 year is a pretty long time. Here are the hours, there are the years. The work which we can perform in some hours here, there we cannot perform the same work in many years. So work after leaving the body, that becomes more difficult without a competent master. When the soul is initiated into the mystery of the beyond by the competent master, it withdraws and transcends from one plane to another plane and enjoys the bliss of the master and goes along with the bliss and is welcomed into the heaven with, I tell you, how the soul is welcome. Holy masters, Holy Scripture tell us that it is beyond expression because 100,000 people come in the world. They are born in the world. 100,000 people leave the world, they go back. But a very real soul goes back to his home eternal. And that one who goes is welcomed by God, and God says, Avtaras. All forces, they start celebration in their regions just to welcome that one who is coming from the lower stages to the higher senses. And what they say, even the God and goddesses, they pray to such a holy person that you speak about our destiny to your master. We may also be taken back. But there is no turn other than the man. Only the man can go back. No other species in the world can go. Even God and goddesses, they are kept separate. They have different duties to do. They are bound to work for the man. They are the servant of this holy body. Avtaras come in the world. They are also the servant of the man because they do for man. They keep the universe in order. Their function is very different. They are not blessed as the man is blessed. So my purpose is to say those things that we do not know the price of this man body which is given to us. And we are spending it for nothing. We don't get the price back. Even we lose each and everything out of it. A time comes, then we have to throw it away. It becomes a useless vessel where master cannot put anything inside. You clean the vessel and then you only put the milk in it. Otherwise the milk will split. Anyhow, whether in the body or living after body, the disciple of the real master has eternal life. Outside we think that one withdraws from the body, but with the help of the master, it is very charming and very beautiful. Such souls who go back with the help of the Master. Those who are given that experience to leave the body, there is not any other things to worry for. Such people, such souls can reveal this truth for others. This body has not to speak, it is the soul within which has to speak. I mean, you become conscious co-worker of the divine plan. You can guide humanity while in the body, and you can become conscious co-worker on the higher plan and work with the Master and help with the Master after you leave the body. In both the way you have the sweet in both hands. I tell you, one has not to die. One had to decide to go back. When masters start to appear and take the charge of the soul, then definitely one has to go. And this is the high time in the life of the disciple. There were many instances in India. Those who left the body much time before they said a lot of things in the praise of the Master. Please, we are going on such and such time. There is no one in the world to prevent their path, to create any problem in their path. The give and take process is finished. Way is clear for them. They can go and come back. Blessed are those who have solved the mystery of death. There is no higher thing than that. It is the real value. How you can unravel this mystery? It is within your control. When the child accepts it, the father comes to help. You work out a plan, then you are a wise son of the Master. Then you are a wise son of the Father. And then your Father can finance you. He can give you help to work out. But since you have worked out in beautiful way, then Master Power will give you something to start with it. It is a very high time to accept the thing for what? For our this soul, which is in miseries, in distress, and kept in this very tight cage. It is imprisoned in the body. So thank you all.